Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Monday, March 1st, 2010 City of Waukegan City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conkin.
Here.
Alderman Moiseo.
Here.
Alderman Figueroa. Here. Alderman Newsom.
Here.
Alderman Tempest.
Present.
Alderman Needham. Alderman Larson.
Present.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Present and accounted for. Thank you. If we could all rise, please, for a moment of silence. Thank you. Join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First up, under Mayor's comments, I have a couple of statements that will be read. The first one is regarding the fiscal situation of the City of Waukegan. The fiscal year, May 1st, 2009 to April 30th, 2010, has proven especially difficult for the City of Waukegan. After years of overspending, coupled with the recent economic downturn, the City is in serious fiscal crisis. The City was downgraded by Moody's Investor Service in November and was forced to issue $30 million in taxable working cash bonds just to stay afloat. In an effort to institute sound fiscal management, the City has hired new auditors, non-essential spending was curbed, layoffs were instituted, and the City offered an early retirement initiative and a voluntary separation plan to further cut costs. Recently, the City Council instituted a 2009 real estate tax levy that is 12% over the 2008 tax levy and is reviewing other revenue alternatives. Under my leadership, the City will not continue the practice of spending more than we have. Consequently, the purpose of this letter is to inform all that additional workforce reductions are imminent for the upcoming fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2010. We anticipate releasing a proposed budget in mid-March, with public budget hearings held on the first 3 Thursdays in April. I encourage you to review the budget proposal once it's released and invite you to discuss any related impact on the bargaining unit members with City management. Please contact Tina Smigelski, CPA Director of Finance Administration, to set up a meeting or for further information at 847-856-6451 or tina.smigelski@ci.waukegan.il.us. Thank you.
Motion to seat Alderman.
Second.
I'm sorry, say that again,
Motion to
please.
seat Alderman Cunningham.
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, I will take a motion by Alderman Rivera, seconded by Alderman Figueroa, to move up the agenda, the Judiciary Committee report, including, which is under item 7, including all items A through O, to be brought up before the audience time. So again, it's motion by Alderman Rivera, seconded by Alderman Figueroa. Roll call, please.
Your Honor, that's A through S.
I'm sorry.
A through S.
One more time, please.
A through S.
A through S. I don't have the final one. Okay, let me borrow yours. Okay, my apologies. Restate that A through S. Okay.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conkin.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Under Judiciary Committee report, Alderman Figueroa.
Your Honor, what I'd like to do is have the aldermen, they've talked to me, and they'd like to have more time, like to hold this matter A through S on the Judiciary Committee report, hold that matter over.
So move.
Okay. Moved by Alderman Rivera.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Newsom. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Now, I would like to explain why we are holding the annexations over for at least what will be 2 to 4 weeks. There's been a great deal of concern regarding how this process will move forward and what it will mean for the property owners involved. And we want to make sure everyone knows what the process will be and how it will be played out. The language of the annexation ordinances will be reviewed and tweaked to make sure that homeowners understand that the city will not be trying to force them to hook up to water and sewer services immediately. That was never our intent. We recognize the more rural nature of the properties in question and want to work with you to preserve that character. We will work out language that will allow an extended period of time before hookups are mandated, say 3 to 5 years, if they are at all. We are not going to come in and put in curb and sidewalk during this time frame either to keep potential costs down to homeowners. The city has no intention of changing your zoning either. But everyone should know that as Green Bay Road improvements come online, all properties within at least a half a mile or more of where the road sits now will see changes in development along that corridor. The city will not place any multifamily units in this area. Section 8 is controlled by property owners, not the city. So that is something we cannot stop if a homeowner decides to rent property to lower income residents and they seek qualification. In fact, Waukegan has a moratorium on multifamily units except along our lakefront and our downtown. This is going to be extended in the near future. The main differences you will see from the annexation will be your removal from your local fire protection district, city garbage pickup, an end to leaf burning, and an end to parking vehicles on lawns, and the fact that 911 calls will now be routed to our public safety services. So I really felt it was important that everybody here understand that we are not trying to destroy the quality of where you live. We want to preserve rural quality. I think it's important that every community have areas like that that are more rural. So it is something that we want to work with you. We want to make this something that is doable and is something that over a period of time everybody will feel comfortable with the process. Now I'd like to move on and explain a little bit about what's to come next. Those of you that have signed up for public comment are going to be asked to adhere to a few rules. First, the public comment period is 30 minutes long. That's our standard. Each person gets 3 minutes to speak and will be timed. Once you have reached your time limit, you will be thanked by the chair and asked to stop and move away from the podium to allow the next speaker to address the council. During your comments, you will be expected to be polite, not to shout, not to use profanities, not to issue threats of any nature, and to stay on the topic you signed up to speak about. While I recognize many of you are passionate about this issue, you will be expected to act and speak in a civil fashion. If 3 minutes is not enough time, you are encouraged to write to me with your additional concerns, and I will do my best to address them. Also, speakers just simply repeating what has already been said by previous speakers are encouraged to acknowledge their support for the previous comments and allow the next person to come to the podium. I must also state that this is not a debate. The council will listen to your comments but will not answer directed questions nor provide rebuttal to your statements. So we'll move into public comment. First up would be, and I'm going to try to read Mr. Jason Burleson, 717 North Avenue in Waukegan.
Your Honor, is there any way to spin this podium around at all so I can address the council?
Well, you can turn it slightly a little bit more, but I would say about right there. We don't want to have you lost to the camera.
Yeah, that's one. Okay. Good evening. I am a homeowner and registered voter in Ward 6, and I've been a resident of Waukegan for most of my life. And I'm here this evening to comment on the forced annexation of unincorporated Waukegan Township. Now, I just want to start off by stating the obvious. You guys are leaders. You were elected to lead this city. And I want you to know what makes a great leader is not that you get every decision right every time. What makes a great leader is his or her ability to recognize a wrong decision and to change course. Now, as I stand here and speak to you, this city faces a $6.3 million budget deficit this year. That means at the end of this year, we will be $6.3 million more in debt, and that's just to keep the lights on at this council meeting. This annexation will cost the city hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions. We don't have the money for it. It's the wrong decision, and we need to change a course. When it comes to police and fire protection in the city, it is my understanding that 2 months from now, police officers will be on the street 12 hours at a time. Now, you've all worked a 12-hour shift before. What's it like that 11th hour? Would you have the energy to break up a gang fight? Would you have the ability to stop a robbery? More importantly, would you have patience and energy to deal with a frustrated citizen of Waukegan? You wouldn't. Neither will our police officers. This annexation will further stretch our police, fire, and snow removal abilities. When it comes to this annexation, we are making the wrong decision, and we need to change a course. Now, I watched several YouTube videos of these council meetings before I came here this evening, and almost every one of you made a comment about taking care of your neighbors, doing what's right by your neighbors, and yet you stand here moving forward on an annexation that will literally destroy the lives of our neighbors. Some of them will lose their home because of higher property taxes. Others will be forced to change the ways of their lives because of the codes of this city. Now, I want you to know that my comments here this evening were not meant to criticize. They're meant to convict. And I leave you just one question. If these people were your mothers and fathers, would you vote yes on destroying their lives? Better yet, would you vote yes on destroying their lives if it meant the city went further into debt and so we could fill in some holes on a map? I thank you for your service to the city. God bless you and your families. God bless the city of Waukegan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Burleson. Appreciate your comments. Mr. Jack Burleson, 35845 Northern Waukegan.
Thank you for coming. It makes me feel really good to live in a community like this. It makes me feel really bad what you're trying to do to it. I had a speech prepared, but I'm not sure I can make it. This is wrong. You say it's inevitable. You say it's going to happen. This morning I sat drinking coffee in deep depression, thinking really dark thoughts. My mom called out of the blue with a Bible verse. She assured me that there's a higher power involved in this, and it's not the City Council of Waukegan. I hope you make the right decision for these people. They're not here because they don't want to be in Waukegan. They're here because they want to be left alone. That's all we ask. We don't want anything from you. We've got along just fine up until now. These are good, honest, hardworking people. They deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burleson. Jean Samet, 12663 West Grove Avenue.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Aldermen. A-Did Wetland Number 55 not only is a wetland, it is a protected wetland.
I'm sorry, ma'am, could you speak into the microphone? Thank you very much.
Okay. The Storm Water Management Commission and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers have helped to make this a dedicated wetland. Also, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has discretionary authority over the Upper Waukegan River watershed. This discretionary authority has stated all wetlands are hydrologically connected through ditches and culverts to the Waukegan River. By this authority, the public need to protect the wetland is greater than the city's need to bring in improvements to the area. Each permit will be individually viewed by the Army Corps of Engineers and ruled upon. Mitigation will be a minimum of 3 acres for 1 acre touched if permits were okayed. My understanding from the Army Corps of Engineer and Stormwater Management is this ADID 55 area is not to be touched for any type of development. Have any of you been told any of this information, and what actual costs to develop this area really are, or what the return to the city would be in dollars and cents? My understanding is you cannot run water or sewer lines through any of the ADID 55 hydric soils, which would make it impossible to service the entire area of the proposed annexation. Waukegan has, as you well know, a very large $5 million deficit. Being unable to develop or extend any piping into this area, would you be furthering your deficit? And I think you would be. It is not a sound investment for the city to promote nor seek annexation of this area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Samet. We appreciate your comments. Mr. Steve White, 12730 West Grove Avenue, Waukegan.
Mayor Sabanjan, Alderman, citizens. My name is Steve White. I am one of the past co-presidents of the Neighborhood Coalition Against Annexation to Waukegan. I would like you to open your eyes and ears to the big picture of your actions. Did you know, or have you been told about the money lost or made when this annexation plan goes through? If Waukegan annexes this area and the Township Highway Department is done away with, the approximate $129,000 you get now will stop coming to you because the road and bridge tax coming to the township will stop. Also, if the township's road maintenance division closes, personal property replacement monies from the state to the township, approximately $180,000, of which $60,000 goes to the city of Waukegan, will stop. Adding those two losses totaling approximately $190,000 and adding the taxes you will gain by annexing all the way to Green Bay Road, approximately $200,000, you will only be gaining $10,000 in money and taking on how much more costs for road maintenance, snow removal, police and fire protection. I believe whoever it is that is pushing for this annexation hasn't told you or doesn't know what you'll lose or what you'll gain by annexing this area in real dollars and cents. Also, did you know that House Bill number 46 is in committee right now? This bill will stop retroactively any and all annexations from January 1st, 2010. Don't you think you should know before spending money to annex us what the true dollar amount will be to the citizens of Waukegan and what your actual gain will be? Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you, Mr. White. Ms. Dawn Green, 12439 West Atlantic Avenue, Waukegan.
Good evening, Dawn Green. My husband and I live in 12439 Atlantic Avenue. I didn't make a speech, but I do want to tell you that whether you give us 1 year or 5 years to pay, we can't afford it. And I don't want to lose my house. My husband is nearing retirement. We chose to live in the township of Waukegan, not the city. Please leave us alone. If we wanted it, we would jump in on it. We can't afford it. So we oppose it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Mr. Bill Burleson, 35845 North Northern, Waukegan.
Sure, Mike. Again, I'd like to start by thanking the council for giving me this opportunity to address this evening. And again, I'll try and be brief. I would just like to hopefully offer a perspective the council hasn't considered yet. Not my perspective. This is actually the third time I've spoken with the members here. When training soldiers for Iraq and Afghanistan, the Army teaches a simple tool to keep perspective in mind. Whatever you are doing, imagine a member of the press, foreign or otherwise, is there with a camera. It's pretty simple, really, but it's a very effective method of getting you to consider how others view your actions. It really hits home, though, when you take the camera out of the picture and you realize what you're doing is considering your actions with your own ethics if you weren't involved, as if you were judging some character in a movie. Did you know, from an outside perspective, you guys make really great villains? Now, that's a very strong statement, and I certainly don't mean to insult the members of this council, but hear me out. Let me tell you about some of my neighbors. And you've addressed some of these concerns, but whether it happens 3 years from now or 2 weeks from now, it's still going to happen. I'll start with something personal. My father builds and restores old cars. It's really his only hobby besides dreadfully spoiling his new granddaughter. He's won awards for them. You're all welcome to come by and see. He'd be happy to show them to you anytime. The problem is it's somewhat space intensive. Now, he parks the ladies in waiting, as he likes to call them, in the backyard behind a privacy fence so not to disturb the neighbors. If you vote for this annexation, you, the members of this council, will be taking that away from him. Whether it's 2 weeks from now or 3 years from now, you have taken that away from him. Now, I have a lot of elderly neighbors on fixed incomes. And this could apply to all of them, but I'll talk about one in particular. She and her husband built their house with their own hands before I and actually many members of this council were even born. She's never had a mortgage. She's never owned a dime on that home. It's a very beautiful home. Her son has bought some land around the home to keep it so picturesque. If you, the members of this council, vote through the annexation, whether 2 weeks from now or 4 years from now, she will have to get a mortgage to pay for it. That's if she can get a mortgage. What with her being on a fixed income and the economy like it is, you, the members of this council, could be putting her out of her home. Now, I've talked with some members of this council, and you seem like good people, certainly not the type of people who would put folks out of their home while twirling some evil movie mustache. Well, maybe one of you. And I've heard, even this evening, how you folks would help with the water and sewer, but if so, that may make you worse than villains. That would make you, at least as far as the citizens of Waukegan are concerned, that would make you bad stewards of their money and bad stewards of their trust. Why go through with it at all then? Why go through the effort and the loss of, as was stated earlier, $190,000 a year, plus whatever legal fees any improvements would have to make, and the city would probably have to fight with the EPA over dealing with a federally sanctioned wetland. And not just a federally sanctioned wetland, it's a showcase wetland. This is where they go to show people how it should be done. There's a term for that, and it's throwing good money after bad. I know the city has invested a decent amount in looking into these annexations, but does it make sense to continue to waste money when it's a waste of money? Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mr. Burleson. I did award you some of the time that wasn't spent by some of the other commentators, so wanted to let you finish up there. And Mr. George, and I'm sorry, George, is it Flement?
Yes.
At 12866 West Country Club. And is that in Waukegan or?
It's Waukegan Township.
Waukegan Township, okay.
Yes. Hi, my name's George Flement. I've lived there for 20 years. I went through this. They tried to do this about 14 or so years ago. We put a committee together and fought against it. I'm still against it. About 3 years ago, my wife and I went out looking to buy a new house because my house is old. We really loved the neighborhood. We talked about it a lot. I tore my house down and built a brand new house, brand new garage, new well, new mound system. I have everything I need. I don't need anything from you. We really like the neighborhood. I mean, I have 2 kids that go to school. I send them to private school because the school is so terrible in Waukegan. the schools they go to, the grade point average is terrible. So I send them to private schools, so it costs me more money besides what I'm paying for my taxes to send kids to school that I don't have. I have to pay for private schools so they get a good education. And I'm opposed against this. I don't want it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flement. Next, we have Gail Ramlow at 36955 North Northern Avenue, Waukegan.
Thank you very much. I think citizens that have spoken, thank you. Thank you. I think that a lot of the comments and everything that have been made here by the citizens are very, very valid, and I feel very deeply about everything that's been said as to reasons why we don't, or we're not for being annexed into Waukegan here. I myself have lived in Waukegan 18 years. My husband and I are very much opposed to being annexed into Waukegan. Financial reasons, because my husband's disabled and I'm the sole breadwinner in the household. We have 4 members of our house in our household at this time. And with being annexed into Waukegan, I understand our taxes would go up quite considerably. I was told $1,500 a year. I can't afford that. I mean, am I supposed to go out and get another job? You know, on top of everything else. And then you said about the water hookup and everything, you wouldn't be mandatory, but yet you know it's coming down the road. Can I afford to take another loan against my house? No. And I think there's many of us that feel the same way. There's, you know, minimum, I'm thinking $10,000, if not more, to hook up to city sewer and water. And on top of that, then you're paying another bill, which I'm not prepared to do either. Question has been asked too by some of the people we were talking before the meeting, is we're not allowed because we're unincorporated to even vote for the mayor. So what I guess we're trying to understand is trying to make sense of this is how can we be forced into joining the city of Waukegan when we weren't even entitled to voting for the people that are sitting here today. The other thing, I mean, everybody knows how tough the economy is right now. I call it a depression, you know, because everybody's losing their jobs. Unemployment rates are soaring. They're over 11, 12%. And we're having a tough time, too. So we're not a money tree. I'm sorry for, you know, you guys were overspending and having tough times, too, but this is not the answer to the problem. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Ramlow, for your comments. Maria Martinez, 12865 Johns Manville Avenue.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Maria Martinez. I live in Township, and I just want to say that I don't agree with what you're doing, mainly because right now I'm unemployed and I'm barely making it. And if you annex Township to Waukegan, that's going to bring our taxes higher, and I can't afford it as it is. And I have 2 children I have to support. And whatever happened to the Constitution and our rights? I don't think this is right what you're doing. And there's a lot of people out here that depend on living the way we do in our area. You know, it's nice and quiet, and you know, we have good neighbors, and I don't believe that what you're doing is right. And I have children that I would like to get ahead in life, but if you take away what little I have left, then I have nothing. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Leslie, it's R-U-S I can make out. If you would state the last name when you come up, please.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. It's Ross, R-O-S-S.
Thank you.
My pen quit writing. Anyways. I've been here since 1985 in Waukegan. I've lived a couple times, a couple places in the city, and I moved out of the township when the taxes was not bankrupting, but making it really hurt to get a little bit ahead. Well, now with the annexation you guys are imposing on us, and my biggest problem with that is that you guys, no disrespect to, you you guys are decision makers and policy makers, but we got some serious problems brewing in Waukegan that are just milking you guys' budgets dry. And then you're fighting and scrambling for finding ways to make more money when your problem's right in your face and you won't even deal with it. I mean, you guys got to start by saying, no. We got a serious population in this town of people that aren't undocumented, and they are just taking our resources, and everybody's scrambling out. Oh, well, how can we fix it? How about, you guys, there's laws. Why don't we start enforcing them? Because I drive a school bus, and our school district is 75% of Hispanic. I'm not racist, but I'm financial, so you got to understand, back in the 30s and the 20s, when immigration was fine, there was open doors because the U.S. was open, but now it's not. And what we have and we worked all our lives for is going to be taken away from us because you guys won't stop what's coming in. Start sending a message, make policy, ordinances. We need citizenship if you're going to buy a house in this town. We need citizenship if you're going to do stuff. You guys got to help us because we're fighting against an army that's coming here because it's a free-for-all. And Waukegan's going to drown in debt. $2 million was you guys lost because somebody got hit by a policeman, and yeah, he was wrong, but what about the guy that was here with no citizenship, with no insurance, no driver's license, and driving on our streets? Just waiting for an accident, and it happens, and $2 million was like that. And how much you guys spent in court? Because you had to fight it. We need you to stop that kind of stuff so you can leave us alone. We pay our taxes. We send kids to school in this district, and I didn't even have kids in this school until this year. And I love Waukegan, but you guys are letting it slip through your hands because who is imposing all this on you? You guys are in charge. Protect us. Protect this city from the swindlers that are pouring into this country, and they're taking it over because we're not saying no and have a backbone and stop it. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
We have a little bit of time left. Miss Kathy, I'm sorry, P-L-A-H-E-R? Okay. Could you spell that for me again, please?
P-L-A-K-U.
Got it.
Good evening. I have been here for over 18, 19 years. I lived in Waukegan Township for 15 years. I sold my home. I built another house 2 blocks west because I love the area. I do send my children to private schools. One's in college now, one's still in high school. I have a budget I have to go by. You people need to go by a budget. Everybody here has a budget. We have to. I do not want to be annexed in. I have a large property. This water and sewer, last time, 15 years ago, it's $110 per linear foot. That's $220 per foot, not including the hookup to our house. People here can't afford that. Your taxes are going to go up $2,000, $3,000 a year. I pay enough in taxes. My children don't go to school here. All the stuff we pay for that we don't receive, we don't want this. We are very opposed for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Plaku. Mr. Dan Hake, H-A-K-E, 12766 North Lee Avenue.
Hey, I just moved in a couple of years ago, and it's like all of a sudden, wow, I got to come up here and do this. And Mayor, I appreciate your explanation. Kind of seems a little bit benign, some of the things that you talked about. Just like all we're going to get is not have to burn leaves, different police, fire, and different garbage. And I don't know why that would cause an increase in tax all of a sudden to that degree, if that's all there is to it. So I'm thinking there probably is more to it. I'm sure at a certain point, we will have attorneys involved, and we're going to go through everything with a magnifying glass to make sure that, all the things that you did say are true. And there are other issues, too. I think Waukegan has too many people. I'm just sort of wondering what this type of annexation is going to do to the population, if it's going to increase it even more. Is it going to change the codes? And actually, that's all. Everyone else has said everything that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. We have time for one more. That would be Mr. Keith Turner, 1320 North Jackson Street.
Thank you, Mayor. Basically, my comments are supportive of these folks, the folks who came in opposition to the annexation. I won't bother with the 3 minutes, but just
okay.
Those are my comments.
Well, we'll take one more there. Mr. Stanley Wilson, 901 Adams Street. Mr. Wilson? Did I get the street right, sir?
901 Adams.
Adams, thank you.
Okay, once again, my name is Stanley Wilson, and I live at 901 Adams Street, and I'm here on the tax information, but all the people here that said what they had to say, and I agree with them. I'm right with them, so no use of me. I got another information I want to bring up. I want to change the thing, but I'm still here. I've been here before. I was $18,000 flying for my life in a helicopter, and I'm wondering why it wasn't in the paper. My house got burned down. I wonder why that wasn't in the paper. I also, it was set on fire last year. Okay, I'm here to wonder why the sheriff, the state's attorney and the chief of the police will not follow up when I make a police report. I had to go all the way to Chicago, which all the mayor and all of them have one of these, and it's still pending. They look like they're turning their head, and they are turning their head. This has been in for 6 months, okay, and I haven't heard nothing to it. First of all, the Detective Detective Roger, and he was investigating a statement I put in, he had knowledge of it. When I gave him the name of the people, seemed like he froze. He came and told me, well, it should go to the state's attorney for them to. I haven't heard nothing at them. And I think this is wrong. I know this is wrong. We are citizens, and we have a right to be protected. If someone is taking things that don't belong to them, I don't care who it is. I made a police report. I have no respect on them. And also, I have here the president, but his name was Obama. He made a statement to me before he became the president of the United States that my workman compensation is tied to my house. I had an injury in California, and that's been since '90. I have a document here, papers I should have signed for a second mortgage, and I'm looking at the paper right here. It's some kind of writer, whoever thought signed that would be crazy. In other words, the date on this is '90. You know where I was in '90? I was in California. I had an injury. I was going to treatment all day. But I borrowed the money in '98. I mean, how can that be impossible? These things have to be addressed. Now, I understand that all of us should be involved. Everybody that's sitting in the seat, everybody that we vote in. We have more problems in Waukegan than just the taxes. And everybody has to take up and look at it, you know. Because together we stand, apart we fall. Listen to the people tonight. They telling us something. And for me, if I was in the seat, I would be ready to listen to them. Because number one, you can't be everywhere at one time. They out there okay? And they feel it, okay? And also, when you vote a program in that's going to affect the city and the people in the city, we should think about it. And we should talk to the people like we doing tonight. And these things should be addressed, okay? Now, ain't no way in the world the President of the United States, anybody can down him because he got a bigger plate than all of us, and he have to step up to it. Don't he wouldn't be there, okay? And when he says something, you cannot overlook it because he's doing his job just like everybody else in the seat up here trying to do their job.
Mr. Wilson, thank you very much for your comments. I appreciate it very much. I've taken down your name and information. We'll see what we can find out about what you're referring to.
Thank you very much. I
yes,
appreciate
sir. Thank
that.
you very much. And I want to thank everybody here tonight for your comments. We don't take this lightly. I appreciate a great deal the professionalism, the restraint that you all showed. I know that there's a great deal of emotion attached to this, and I do appreciate the fact that you were able to come up and make your comments in such a very insightful way. As I said before, we are going to make sure you understand what's happening here. We're not doing anything that we're trying to injure anybody or take their property away from them or spread blight out or high-density zoning out into these areas. And we are trying to be able to structure this so that we don't harm anybody financially. So give us a little time to work through this. No, sir, I'm sorry. And we will keep you apprised of the situation as we go along with information. We will promise you that. So thank you again for coming this evening. Right now, we will move over to, under Judiciary Committee, Alderman Figueroa. We will pick up with item T, please.
Your Honor, the minutes.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, a motion to accept the minutes of February 16th, 2010, regular meeting and executive session minutes from Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Tempest. Roll call.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken. Aye. Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa. Aye. Alderman Newsom. Aye. Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
So approved. Thank you very much. Now back to Judiciary Committee report.
Mayor,
items T.
Mayor.
You don't have any resolutions?
You want to wait till they...
Okay, that's fine. Sure. Wayne, did we have any? So. No, they all did a good job.
Yeah, they would.
Yep.
Basically, we're waiting the judiciary same way. No, I'm just saying that during the judiciary basically saying, yeah, okay, good.
Okay, I think you're clear.
Okay, Your Honor. Judiciary Committee met last Monday. What was the date last Monday now? It was
I called you.
when I was a week ago today. And first item on the agenda, item number T, that's left over, has not been left over, held over. It's an extension of the moratorium for certain signs. The reason for this is that we are reevaluating the sign ordinance with all the new technologies that have appeared. LED signs, you've got these signs that look like huge television sets, and you're going down and it's just a huge distraction. We want to be able to extend the moratorium on the signs until we get, we've got both the Department of Planning and the Building Department working on the new ordinance, so that this is an extension of the moratorium. So Judiciary Committee recommends, and I so move, to extend the moratorium, and I don't have the amount of it, as presented.
As presented.
I think it's
motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo. Aye. Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Item U, it was has to do with the vacant structure registration ordinance. That was passed last month, I believe. No, it was in January. And the Corporation Council took a look at it and recommends some changes. What the The motion, as it read in the Judiciary Committee, was to rescind the vacant structure registration ordinance and replace it with the one that was presented by the Corporation Council. There was a few changes. Corporation Council, could you refresh my memory as to what the changes were? That was last.
There were just a few changes that were made. One kept our property maintenance code applicable in addition to the new regulations under the vacant property ordinance. There was a shortening of the period during which one could board up a property. Under the ordinance, as I amended it, it's initially a 6-month board up permitted. The building official is allowed to give an additional 6 months. That's, as our current ordinance reads, and we put one more 6-month, again, at the sole discretion of the building official, but within 18 months then, or lesser period if the property is not maintained properly, or if the building official so determines, the boards have to come off the windows and the place has to be look decent for the neighborhood and maintained decently. Those are the main changes that were added.
So the Judiciary Committee recommends, and I so move to accept the substitute ordinance as presented.
Motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
No, and I have some reservations regarding the limits of liability for a 1 or 2 unit structure as having to have $500,000 worth of liability insurance. And I know that this would impact some residents in my ward, mainly seniors that may be living alone and at some point need to sell their properties. And if they can't sell them at this point, they would be vacant. And if they're not living in them, be required to have a high amount of liability. I'm not in favor of that.
Alderman Tempest.
For point of clarification from the Corporation Council,
Yes.
since you reviewed the document, would it be feasible for him to comment on that before I vote?
Me too. Yeah. The ordinance was intended to address banks, institutional holders. In terms of a senior who owns a property and has to vacate it, and then I'm almost certain that there are provisions in the ordinance for relief in those situations.
That wasn't told me. It may be mainly pointed at the banks, but everybody's required to follow that ordinance.
Your Honor.
I have a question too.
Yes, Alderman Figueroa.
Alderman Newsom, and I apologize to Alderman Newsom. She did bring this up to me, and I failed to bring it up to Corporation Council. But it does say that it shall be the responsibility of the property owner or the owner's agent to maintain liability. And it does bring up a rather sizable amount of liability property. For example, 1 or 2 units, it's $500,000 worth of insurance. And I have no idea how much that type of insurance, how much that's in case somebody gets hurt on your property, the bank, pardon me?
No, I'm just motioning down. He's seeking recognition, but
I think that maybe we should just hold this in track and just take another, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Alderman Cunningham.
Typically, with homeowners policy, the max that normally follows homeowners policy is $300,000. Whenever you go up to 500 to $1 million, that is, you know, you might own multiple properties, you might have other business interests, so you want your exposure to be a little bit more grander. So, you know, from an average policy If we take a look at everybody right on the council, if you take a look at your homeowner's policy, liability is already included. 500,000 to $1 million, sometimes you pay a little bit extra for that. Now to warrant, you know, I think for our purposes, we want the property covered. That would be the purpose I think we really want. From a liability standpoint, most of your insurance companies or most of your lawyers, Mr. Steve is out there, typically the lawyers sue up to the liability of the policy. If it's only 100,000, that's all they're going to sue for, 100,000. If it was $1 million, they sue up to $1 million. So I don't know if that provision is really necessary to have it mandatory for $500,000. I think what we, obviously liability is a part of your policy. And most homeowners have a $300,000 limit. That's custom what all agents do. So having that in there really is no bearing on whether they get hurt, they get hurt. They're only going to get whatever the policy limits are anyway. So we can amend that to just
300.
Yeah, we can amend it to be up to the policy limits.
Your Honor.
And let them decide what to be.
But they're tiered, and they're, you know, they go up to, what is it, 5?
Your Honor.
5 mil?
Yeah, it should be just put it up to the policy limits.
We can $3 million for commercial.
Alderman Tempest.
Your Honor, I know we're in the middle of a roll call, but I did not have the ordinance in front of me to look at either.
That was distributed last week.
It was? Okay, it wasn't here tonight. And I maybe have it home with notes, but may I hold this over?
Sure.
So we can get this clarified?
I think that would be appropriate. This
Would the
isn't
rest of the
anything
council
of immediate urgency, so why don't we take this back and we'll take a look at it and see, you know, where it falls within comparable communities and kind of move forward based on that, then, if that would be all right.
Yeah, we've already started a roll call, but if we could.
It's okay. It's appropriate. I don't see any problem. I'll just take my vote back and, sure.
Everybody, if we could just hold this over.
Do we have a
hope
problem
everybody
with
would
that from
agree
the
after.
standpoint?
And I recommend that we also put up to policy limits in there. Then that way it would eliminate us saying 3 million, 4 million, whatever the policy limits are.
We'll look at comparables. Would that satisfy you? And then we'll bring those back. Okay, very good. So we'll hold that over. Then Alderman Figueroa, your last item.
Let me read it first to make sure we can get this thing through. The last item, Your Honor, has to do with the building moratorium. And the reason we're extending this moratorium is because the rezoning ordinance, the zoning ordinance that we've been looking at for some time now, all of that work has not been completed yet, and we want to be able to extend the moratorium. I think that it was for 6 months, wasn't it?
Yes.
Right, 6 months. Judiciary Committee recommends, and I so move, to extend the apartment building moratorium for 6 months. That's what it says right there. Okay.
We have a motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Now move on to Alderman Larson, Public Safety Committee report.
Thank you, Mayor, and I want to note that there will be an item E added because of emergency engine repairs to a fire engine. There was a motion by Alderman Conken, seconded by Alderman Rivera, to donate the police horses to the National Park Service in Washington, D.C. 3 horses are involved. I believe they are, I think the one that is not being donated is Bill, the big one that's going to stay with Bill Singh. We will return the 4th horse, which is Bill, to the original donor pending tax treatment, and keep the horse trailer, which has a significant value, and send the miscellaneous related equipment to auction. And I so move.
Motion by Alderman Larson, seconded by Alderman Conken. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham.
Aye.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye, and with a heavy heart, obviously. I look at it just as a transfer. They'll go somewhere where they'll be able to still do their work, and just a transfer.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye, with a heavy heart.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest?
I vote aye, but I'd like to explain my vote as some other aldermen have. I probably visit the horses more than anybody out on River Road. They're going to be donated to a type of work that they're used to doing now. So you know they're not going to be abused, like you send them to an auction. You know they're going to be a good home with the National Park Service. I think it's a very clean way of making sure the horses remain in a very good home and are used very appropriate in the future. I vote aye.
Alderman Larson?
Aye.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Item B, the Public Safety Committee recommends, and I so move, that the proper city officials be authorized to draft an ordinance to reflect a no left turn intersection on Victory Street at its intersection with Washington Street for southbound traffic on school days between 2 and 4 p.m.
We have a motion by Alderman Larson, seconded by Alderman Moiseo. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham?
Aye.
Alderman Conken?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa?
Aye.
Alderman Newsom?
Aye.
Alderman Tempest?
Aye.
Alderman Larson?
Aye.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Item C, the Public Safety Committee recommends, and I so move, that the proper city officials be authorized to draft an ordinance to reflect no parking from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on school days on the south side of Jenkinson Court from Buttrick Street to a point 130 feet west of the intersection, and no parking from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on school days on the north side of Jenkinson Court from Buttrick Street to a point 95 feet west of the intersection. And I so move.
Motion by Alderman Larson, seconded by Alderman Moiseo. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham?
Aye.
Alderman Conken?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa?
Aye.
Alderman Newsom?
Aye.
Alderman Tempest?
Aye.
Alderman Larson?
Aye.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Item D, the Public Safety Committee recommends, and I so move, that the proper city officials be authorized to pay the annual membership assessment, mobile field force assessment, and the emergency service team assessment to Northern Illinois Police Alarm System, otherwise known as NIPAS, P.O. Box 96, Wheeling, Illinois 60090, for a total cost of $4,505. And I
Motion
so
by
move.
Alderman Larson, seconded by Alderman Moiseo. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham?
Aye.
Alderman Conken?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa?
Aye.
Alderman Newsom?
Aye.
Alderman Tempest?
Aye.
Okay.
Alderman Larson?
Aye.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Item E that I mentioned earlier, I just want to bring it to the floor's attention. I guess we can't act on it because it wasn't presented previously. The fire department engine 3 required emergency repairs to its engine due to a catastrophic failure of the original motor. There was a quote for repairs up to $25,000, but after completion of said repairs and discounting the total for the emergency work, the total cost ended up being $19,598.27. This is work that has been completed under budget, and I will have to bring that up on an expedited basis at the next Public Safety Committee meeting.
We've done this before. Why
Is
can't
it an
we?
emergency item?
No,
We've done it
it's
before.
not on the agenda. It's got to be posted on the agenda to be able to vote on it.
Well, our next council meeting, could we put it in
Well,
finance or just put it on the council?
It could come through the Finance Committee, or we could even do a half-hour special call where we could have Rick's committee meet for 10 minutes, approve the item, then we could just move into a city council meeting. Chief?
It's on the agenda under new business. If you look under new business, item B.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Well,
Oh,
there you
okay.
go. Hey.
Then we'll take it under new business then.
Okay.
Alderman
Your
Larson,
Honor, for
if you don't mind.
clarification, for clarification.
Alderman Cunningham.
If we have an emergency situation, my 10 years of being on the council and being in other, in other settings, an emergency is what it is, an emergency. We can act upon an emergency.
I didn't see down the agenda. I apologize.
Oh, I understand that
that's our fault
position.
that we
Well, I understand
missed
that
that.
position, but if an emergency arises and something needs to be dealt with, there has to be a way that we can, you know, to deal with that situation.
Alderman Cunningham, it's my understanding of the agenda having to be posted, and what's on the agenda is all you're allowed to vote on. If it was done in the past, I can't speak to past practices. It's something that we could get an opinion from the state's attorney on it.
Yeah, I would like to have that
We can
opinion.
certainly ask them, we can give them a call and ask them. Alderman Moiseo.
Nonetheless, we could post one item tomorrow and have a
Well, it
meeting
has
in
to be
2 days.
48 hours before.
Right. Post it tomorrow and have a meeting in 2 days. It's that big of an emergency.
And we can take certain actions at, you know, based on emergency needs at the time, but unfortunately, we've had, you know, we've gone through this, and the state's attorney has been very clear, as my experience previously to this, that if it's not on the agenda, you may not take action regarding it. That's a very straightforward regulation. Again, but I will go to the state's attorney's office. We'll give them a call tomorrow
or
and
the
ask them
state's attorney general, or the state's attorney general, because I've seen that happen in county government. I've seen it happen in Waukegan, in housing authority government, and I know there's a lot of new things that are out there that affects us, but for us to not to be able to operate what if there's a water main break? If a water main breaks, it's an emergency. We must be able to deal with it. Those bills typically come within the next council meeting.
Well, you wouldn't wait to fix it. You would take care of it, and then you would go forward to get the money to cover it at a next meeting.
But we cannot pay them unless it's approved by council.
Well, but most of that work usually have 30 to 60 days on the billing. But let me check with the state's attorney's office.
Please.
But again, as I said, my previous experience was that if it's not on the agenda, it may not be voted on. And that we'll find out, and we'll get a opinion from them within the next 3 or 4 days. Okay. Sorry about the confusion. Now we will go. Do we have any old business before us? Any communications? Item 10, under new business, we have item A, which is approve the payroll dated February 24th, 2010, in the amount of $1,376,767.15. Take a motion by Alderman Tempest, seconded by Alderman Moiseo. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham. Aye. Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Item B, approve bills dated March 1st, 2010 in the amount of $622,383.86. We have a motion by Alderman Tempest, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Item C, approve Housing and Community Development Consolidated Annual Action Plan. Motion by Alderman Moiseo, seconded by Alderman Conken. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Item D, approve payment to Northern Illinois MAC Incorporated for a total amount of $19,598.27 for emergency repairs to fire engine number 3. We have a motion by Alderman Larson, seconded by Alderman Tempest. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Item 11, ordinances, under 11, ordinances and resolutions. Item A, ordinance to approve a conditional use permit for cellular antenna, zoning calendar 2285, petitioner SAC Wireless Clearwire, located at 2625 West Glen Flora Avenue. We have a motion by Alderman Figueroa, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Item B, ordinance to landmark the Christ Episcopal Church located at 405 West Grand Avenue. Motion by Alderman Figueroa, second by Alderman Cunningham. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham.
May I speak to that?
Yes, Alderman Tempest.
That has been amended to be voluntary. They voluntarily want to come in.
Oh, that's what I needed. Thank you. Thank you, Alderman Tempest. Aye.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, that's all right.
Alderman Conken.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Figueroa.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Tempest.
Aye.
Alderman Larson.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that we do have executive session this evening, and following the alderman's time, we will be going into executive session, which, for all intents and purposes, does end the meeting for the evening. We will come back in out of executive session, reconvene, and then go out of session. So I thank you for your patience and for your attention this evening, for all of you that were here, and for the comments from the audience members as well. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we just voted on it just now.
So we're going to alderman's time?
Yeah.
Wayne?
Yeah.
Oh, first one up is Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Cunningham.
I have about three small items here. One of them is Corporation Council. I think this will be directed toward you. Are you familiar with this HB, House Bill 4676, stopping the annexation? Are you familiar with that at all?
No, I'm not.
I mean, I would like to see if we can get some information from that and exactly what that entails. So better at least educate me on this whole process. So that's just, I mean, that may be a comment versus a, anything I want to say. But if you can find anything more about it and try to educate the council what's going on here, I'd appreciate that.
Alderman, if I might say, we've begun the process. It was studied yesterday by Mr. Vukovic. He was unable to find a bill with that designation, but we'll continue to look and see if we come up with something.
Okay.
We'll let you know as soon as we do.
Sounds good. Maybe since we had so many people here tonight that were talking about the increase in property taxes, from my understanding with this annexation, their property taxes will not be affected. I think to better answer that question would be with the township assessor, Mr. Pat Morris. I'd like to get him or get an opinion from him as to what the taxing part or portion of this will be for that if this does happen or doesn't happen. Mayor, maybe we can get a letter from them. If not, have him come to council and give us, hey, what's the facts? What's the deal? I'd like to get that. Third, there was an incident at the high school where one of the security guards was injured. And I think this was in conjunction with some of the basketball players that were in the paper, and it was alleged that they had beat up the security guard. Well, I saw the young lady at one of the games, and per her, she felt really bad because it was being said, the perception was that the students had beat her up. And she just wanted to make it very, very clear that the students at Waukegan High School had nothing to do with her being injured. She had slipped on some ice and hit her face, damaged it up, bruised it up pretty bad, and it was just, kind of blown out of proportion. And she felt really bad and thought that it would be nice that the people on city council and the mayor's office knew that her students, and I like the way she said, her students had nothing to do with her being injured. And she just wanted that to be passed on to council members, mayor in your office, and our kids from Waukegan, I tell you, they really get a bum deal sometimes. 96% of the kids that go to that school go there to try to get a good quality education. And there are people within any school district, any city, they're going to have some problems. Riffraff. It happened during your day, it happened during my day. But it's a shame that a lot of times these kids, the vast majority of them get labeled, particularly in Waukegan. Sometimes we as Waukeganites label our own babies. We need to stop sticking up for some of these children. I take a look over the last 3 years. I've been watching Waukegan name get national attention, regional attention, Division I players going there. I haven't seen that type of publicity in Waukegan late 70s, mid to late 70s, early 80s. And what do? We don't even stick up for our boys and our girls. We let them just parade them like they're a bunch of thugs. Don't want nothing, ain't gonna do nothing. Kids in Waukegan. Well, I'm a Waukegan brat, I'm proud of it. When they start talking about our children, we need to stick up for our kids. And for those who mess up, we'll get them too. But all of our kids aren't bad. If you go to some of those games and you go to walk through those hallways, you'll see they're natural kids like everybody else. So, and I think that's the point she was trying to make. But I'm over there now because I'm a dad. I have a daughter over there. I see what's going on in that school. Me personally, I think the school is too small to have all those kids bunched up together. If we really want to do something, let's get on board with building a bigger school so we can be like Gurnee, Stevenson, Deerfield, whatever they want. When you go out to those schools, Moiseo is there, they got the facilities equipped for the kids they have. We still have things in there when Coach Tempest was in school. I didn't say it was young or old, I just said when you were there. But my thing is here is it time that we start looking at something to better our kids, better the school, then we get better from the kids. But you know, all of our kids aren't bad, so stop labeling our children. Because when we label them, folks outdoors label them too. But when they're out there playing in Iowa on national television, when they go into University U of I, representing Waukegan, we don't call them bad then. I've always been taught you stick with somebody through the good times and the bad times. Now we got some knuckleheads, I'm not doubting that at all. But we got a police department, you got some disciplinary things is over there. If we need to improve that, improve that. But our children are not bad. Because I'm not going to have nobody talk about my daughter, talking about she don't want this and all she wants to do with that. No, that ain't going to happen. I'm going to tell you about it. It's some good children over there. Last but not least, someone brought this to my attention, and this is long, 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 long overdue. In Tennessee, they have an ordinance. I talked to Alderman Tempest about this. Cracking down on saggy pants, fine hits below the belt. I'm just telling you, young men, I talk in schools all the time. Young men cannot expect to be a city council member, a mayor, CEO, general business, and you walking into an interview with this. It's just not going to happen. I know you're trying to be cool. I know there's a lot of things that's going on. Young ladies shouldn't want no man going to be showing their underwear. Because they ain't coming to my house, I can tell you that now. Okay. I don't know how we get this message across. But, you know, from either school level or city, the state of Tennessee, I think they put an ordinance in place. Now I'm in schools, I'm talking all the time, and I talk directly to them. Young men don't show their underwear. And if you're talking about going to get a job, you got to be dressed like this or like that. In some places, you know, it's just crazy. So I'm asking Corporation Council, it is not going to be the most popular thing out there. And for those who think it is just the young black boys, I'm here to tell you, it is, it does not discriminate. It has no color barriers. This, we have to look at these young men. It's just crazy. I mean, some of them holding their pants up. That don't make sense. So, you know, Corporation Council, Mayor, I don't know, but and if we don't teach them in these schools, they're going to run out to corporate America and expect to get a job. You know, what's the old saying, Larry? Was it spare the rod, spoil the child? You know, this is just, I don't know. I mean, hopefully some of my other aldermen will comment on it. I know it's not popular. I know it's not popular, but it has to be said. It has to be said. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, Alderman Cunningham. And it looks like I'm going to have to do a lot of buying of new pants and things, you know, because you've all seen me in public, and you know, what's it? Drawers on the floor, drawers on the ground, pants on the ground. That's the new song I think that's going around. So it's going to cost me a lot of money, Sam. All right, thank you very much, Alderman. We'll look into it. It's one of those things that it's tricky. So we'll have to go on.
Alderman Conken.
I have to agree with Alderman Cunningham that first impressions do stand out. And
I see it every day. I don't know.
Tom, is your microphone on?
Gentlemen like this will have a tough time accepting the fact that they don't get a job based on first impressions. But fortunately, last Friday night I had the privilege of going over to the Genesee and seeing some young men and young women that pretty much have some good ideas. Mayor, you were there, we were talking. They had some pretty innovative ideas with the design competition for some buildings downtown Waukegan. And I'm just going to recommend that, you know, there were some very innovative designs, very imaginative. It was very impressive by the college students from Robert Morris College. Read about it in the paper today. And those displays will be up at the Genesee, I believe, through the coming couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken, Mayor, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I would recommend everybody go down and see it. They're really some pretty innovative designs and something that would really make the downtown look nice if we could ever implement them. Thank you.
Alderman Moiseo.
March 22nd, Alderman.
Thank you, Robin.
Thanks.
Actually, going to echo most of Alderman Cunningham's comments. I want to know a little bit more about the finances of this annexations. Get as much information as I can about it. So anyone that wants to call me or reach out to me, feel free to do that. And I'll get information. Obviously, I'm sure the mayor they'll have all their financial and all the points that we need to know. But I want to hear from everybody so that I can make an informed decision. I'm at the high school every day, and Alderman Cunningham is right. I mean, I wouldn't have been there for 19 years if I didn't think we had good kids. I would have left a long time ago. As me and many of my colleagues say, it's not the kids, Alderman Cunningham, it's the grown folks. And the system that we have, and me and the mayor sat down with the principal and Dr. Batista and Mr. Newby and the president of the school board, Mr. Rodriguez. After that incident, we talked about a lot of things, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but not just the present leadership of the schools, but we failed a whole generation of kids because we haven't taught them anything about respect and responsibility. I told them, not only have we failed them because we haven't taught them any content knowledge, but we haven't taught them the basic thing that I think, probably the most important thing I learned in school was respect and responsibility and things like that. And we haven't done that. And we've mollycoddled and made excuses and made crutches for kids for various reasons. We all know that. But that has got to stop. You have to have standards of behavior, and as Alderman Cunningham, standards of dress. I'm not talking about, you know, the hard things, but like uniforms. That doesn't cure anything. But you have to teach kids and young people, and it's an everyday process. It's not a once-in-a-month process. And that tragedy that happened in Chicago with that young boy that got beat up outside that high school, and then the President of the United States sends the Attorney General here and all this and that, that doesn't mean a damn thing to those kids. That doesn't mean a thing to them. And it doesn't mean a thing to that that community in Chicago, because they were there one day and gone. And one thing I've learned as a teacher, it's just like being a parent. It's a day-to-day effort of making them do what they're supposed to do. Kids are kids. And kids are going to do what they can get away with, and they're going to push the envelope, and they're going to do that. But it takes leaders and adults to correct them and teach them what they're doing and how to do things right. And that's got to take a concerted effort by everybody. It can't just be one or two people. It's got to be everybody, and it starts with standards of behavior. And we've got to get back to that. So I echo Alderman Cunningham's comments, and I'm there every day, and the majority of the kids are good kids. And the majority of the kids, even the ones that misbehave, you could straighten out. But it's a day-to-day grind and effort, not a once-a-month effort, not a once-a-year effort. It's day-to-day, and that's what we got to understand, day-to-day. Thank you.
Alderman Figueroa.
God bless his soul.
I'll pass, Your Honor.
Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest.
Yes, I just want to comment appreciation of the mayor, how well he handled the annexation group this evening. You listened to them, wrote down some of their concerns. I'm going to try to address them, and for that I take off my hat as a leveling and trying to make sure the fears and that is they understand it better. Thank you.
Alderman Larson.
Thank you. Two things. First of all, this Saturday at the Lake County Sports Center. I always used to think of it as the on Oakwood Avenue. From 6 to 11 p.m. is the 14th annual Waukegan High School Booster Club auction. I'm donating a day of fishing with Rick Larson. Someone's going to have a good time. I'll even clean the fish and bag them for you.
Ice fishing. Is that ice fishing?
You're on my list. Soft water, hard water, whatever. But I will I look forward to that every year. Tickets are $15 at the door, $10 in advance, and Ray Vukovic has some with him if you want to grab some before you leave tonight. So I hope to see you all there. It's for a good cause, and it raises a lot of money that the boosters certainly put to good use. But I also want to talk about a serious matter. It has come to my attention that a business located in the 8th Ward, Whitmore's Airport Shell, has had its package liquor license taken by our liquor commissioner, who is the mayor. Mr. Whitmore's attorney, Mr. Steve Martin, who's here tonight, has sent a letter of protest to the mayor, the corporation council, and all the aldermen. We've all received this. But apparently this letter has not stopped the mayor from sending our business license administrator to Mr. Whitmore's establishment and removing that license. This is a license that has been held by Mr. Whitmore for over 20 years. In fact, this license was awarded to Mr. Whitmore by the first Mayor Sabanchin. For these many years, Mr. Whitmore has provided a variety of items for sale to the far northwest section of the city, including a modest liquor business. Otherwise, the residents of Waukegan would have had to buy their gas, ice cream, coffee, food, beer, wine, and liquor from establishments located nearby in Gurnee. No hearing or due process under the 14th Amendment was given to Mr. Whitmore. So much for the democratic process that I believe Mr. Whitmore is entitled to. I want to make clear to the citizens of Waukegan that this drastic step was taken without the knowledge or approval of this group of aldermen. This action makes no sense, unless, of course, they intend for this license to be applied to a person who recently applied and was denied by this council a liquor license to operate a liquor store in a shopping plaza. I fear that this might be the case. A license has been taken from a legally conforming business. This business does maybe $3 to $4 million worth of business in Waukegan each year. It provides property tax revenues, gas tax revenues, and retail tax revenues to this city. this amounts to tens of thousands of dollars each year coming to Waukegan. Will the same benefit apply to a small package liquor operation in a strip mall? Doubtful. It may also create a hardship to Mr. Whitmore, as he will be obligated to remodel his facility to comply with the mandates of a different type of license. It is my understanding that Mr. Whitmore has been told that he doesn't need the license, or words to that effect. Who are they to make this judgment? I don't believe this is fair to Mr. Whitmore. I also believe that when word of this circulates throughout this business community of ours, it will have a chilling effect. What business will this happen to next? I therefore am requesting an investigation by the proper authorities of this entire matter. I've contacted the state's attorney's office. I believe that Mr. Whitmore's rights are being trampled upon. I demand that the original license of Mr. Whitmore be returned immediately, pending the disposition of this investigation. The citizens of Waukegan deserve to know that this type of action will not be allowed to go unchecked. Thank you.
That's it. Alderman Rivera.
Thank you. First of all, I myself, when I make a decision on these annexations, I'm going to put myself in the people's shoes. What would I do if this were to happen to me? So you can guarantee you're going to have that support in regards to making a decision. But I'm so glad that we're going to make financial comparisons to see if it's worth it for us to annex these properties into the city of Waukegan. So I'm happy that we're going to be seeing some numbers. I think we should have done that the first time, before we even made this presentation of an annexation. But I'm glad that we're going to do it now. I have some issues that I'm looking into in some of the areas that are being annexed in the 9th Ward. I have a meeting with these people on Wednesday here at City Hall that involve annexation. So, I want to hear it all, but really, I'm going to put myself in their shoes. I myself, don't think that just because we're up here in nice suits and, looking good up here, hey, I'm going through some hard times just like you, anybody else, with these tough economic times. So believe me, I know how it feels. As the gentleman said, he was sending his kid to, the private schools. Well, that's your option. I did the same thing with my kids, and I've lived in the city of Waukegan all my life. And yes, I did send my kids to private schools since they were in kindergarten. But that's my choice. But that's nothing to say that, the city of Waukegan schools and the children are bad. Heck, I've been defending Waukegan since when I was working with the Illinois Toll Highway Authority as a roadway supervisor. I worked there for 30 years, and believe me, most of the employees there, where do you think they came from? Sure wasn't Waukegan. A lot of them came from the western part of Lake County, Fox Lake, Antioch. They knew how to get under my skin. And that was to talk about the city of Waukegan, and believe me, it did. So yes, I'm very proud of this city. It's a city. We have big city issues just like anywhere else. City of Chicago, we're not a little village. We have our issues. But the one good thing about the city of Waukegan, it's a great community, a community that cares for each other. A community that will work with each other. But I can promise you this, that I will look at everything that's coming to us now in these next few weeks, in regards to the numbers. I want to see it. I want to see if it's worth it. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is burglaries that, unfortunately, that are happening, not only here in Waukegan, but everywhere. Home invasions, you know, during the day especially. My ward, I had a couple of them, but hopefully the investigation is going very well. But these things happen during the day. So I encourage neighborhood watch programs. If you don't want to do a neighborhood watch, at least communicate with your neighbors. You know, the ones that are staying home. You know, to look outside, you know, if you see somebody strange walking, you know, throughout the neighborhood, if you see a car that shouldn't be on that block, don't hesitate in calling. A non-emergency, you know, I mean, the police will get there and check it out. But you got to be very vigilant on what's going on, especially today in this economy. It's tough, and people are doing drastic things. So please, you know, keep an eye out out for your neighbors. You know, make sure that you're vigilant about what's going on in your neighborhood. It's very important. Finally, this Sunday, the Little Fort Lions Club will be doing their Martin Gus steak and egg breakfast that we do annually. It's for a lot of things that our club does here in the city of Waukegan in terms of diabetes, for the deaf and blind. The breakfast is this Sunday, March 7th, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning until 1 p.m. And hopefully we'll see you there. And it's going to be at the Waukegan Yacht Club. And for those that you have never been to the Yacht Club, this will be a great opportunity to come down there and actually see the Yacht Club. Mark Sisifo is doing a great job with marketing the Waukegan Yacht Club. I believe now it's open to the public for lunches and for dinners, and they have great food, great clam chowder, no question about it. The tickets, oh, by the way, are $10 a piece. So again, we're looking forward to seeing you there, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman. That concludes the Alderman's time. At this time, I will take a motion by Alderman Newsom, seconded by Alderman Conken, to go into executive session for matters of negotiations for purchase of real estate, settlement of claims, and pending litigation. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cunningham. Alderman Conken. Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Figueroa. Alderman Newsom. Alderman Tempest. Alderman Larson. Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your attendance this evening. Get everybody in. Motion to come back into regular session by Alderman Moiseo, seconded by Alderman Cunningham. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Motion to adjourn by Alderman Rivera, seconded by Alderman Newsom. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Good job, everybody, by the way.